Hi, welcome to Ani Prime Recap. You are a boy labeled as weak by everyone at school, but you possess an uncontrollable, hidden power, capable of extraordinary strength. We are in the anime The Daily Life of the Immortal King, episodes 1, 2 and 3. Cho is a very well-developed country with advanced technologies, living in peace and harmony. Until one day, a large portal opens in the sky and a giant frog falls from the heights, bringing chaos and destruction to the entire city. At that instant, a group of 5 warriors approaches the enemy using, as far as we can see, weapons that allow them to fly freely. The team uses a group attack called Flying Swords, and bombard the giant frog with several piercing blades, thus causing a huge explosion in the middle of the city. And while that battle was going on, we are shown a little boy who is watching the chaos from a television set in a shop, but who doesn't seem to care about it all. As he leaves the market with a bag of crispy noodles, he is almost hit by the giant frog, but one of the warriors saves his life by taking him to safety. Years later, we learn that that same warrior became a hero to the whole country because he saved the city from a great threat. We again follow the boy who had his life saved by the hero, and his name is Wang Ling, who is now entering high school. But on his first day of school, he is already ridiculed by the other students because his spiritual potential is only 5, making him the lowest level student in the entire school. As the student was being taunted by 2 other students, a beam of light falls from the sky, knocking the 2 bullies away and causing a small amount of damage on the ground. The user of this ability is Sunrong, girl with remarkable spiritual power and admired by everyone in the school. Except Wang Ling, who hands her a note of money as a thank you and leaves as if nothing had happened, ignoring all presentation and glimpses of the student. Later, all the students are called to the schoolyard, where they encounter a hologram of Zhou Yi, the warrior who saved the city from the giant frog. The hero explains to all the students that through an ability test, the school will divide them into classes according to their spiritual power. Those who achieve an above-average score will go to the elite class, and the others who have low scores will go to the normal class. The test begins and the first contestant enters a dark room with standing water, and when the lights are turned on, he is confronted with the Demon King who attacked the city years ago, known as the Loopy Toad. However, it was only his spirit, the real one was sealed away in the school. The exam itself consisted of attacking a specific point marked with a seal on his head, and through the force exerted by the candidate, his spiritual power was calculated and he would be sent to his respective class. The students start the test and are already evaluated. The first one runs towards the frog in a very suspicious way and punches the hologram, but is soon repelled by the creature's energy shield and is thrown far away. Its result was 404, so it sent the normal class. Li Hao then strikes him and in a matter of seconds is brutally thrown against the wall, and ends up with his head stuck in the ceiling. His score was 75, and he goes on to the same fate as the previous student. A new student enters the room and his name is Chen Zhao. He charges a flaming punch in his fist and sets off in the direction of the monster, thus hitting it full on and getting an incredible score of 938 points. This makes him the first student to be classified in the elite class. Sun Rong's turn comes and everyone goes wild as they idolize her. What no one knew was that the Demon King Toad fed a little bit of each energy from the punches and blows he received. He kept this a secret because he was waiting for the right moment to accumulate as much power as possible and free himself from that place. The girl calmly and with a lot of concentration takes a certain distance from the monster and in seconds, prepares a punch in her hand with all her energy, sets off toward the frog and strikes it sharply to the point that the hologram goes out of place with the force of the impact. Her score is soon evaluated and she receives 2019 points. All the students praise her, except Wang Ling, who doesn't care at all and heads for the testing room. Entering the examination arena leaves the great Demon King quite terrified. A flashback is revealed to the day the hero saved the city, but it wasn't quite like that. Zhou Yi was about to be defeated, until that little boy unleashed a huge kick of spiritual power into the frog's mouth, thus knocking him out. Back to Wang Ling's test, he slowly rushes up to the spirit of the frog, thoroughly trying to diminish its incredible power. As he deals his blow to the demon spirit, a great explosion occurs. After the dust settles, we see the spirit of the great toad already defeated, and the power meter has added a devastating force. Everyone is in shock, but the boy claims that he didn't even hit the monster, he self-destructed with all his accumulated energy from the students. The frog preferred to take his own life at once than to receive another blow from the boy. At the end of the exams, we observe that Wang Ling and Sun Rong are in the elite class. On the first day of class, a summoning exercise is done. The creature summoned depends on the level of spiritual power of the user. Chen Zhao, the boy with the fists of fire, is the first to perform the summoning exercise, but is soon frustrated because he has managed to summon a child's magic wand, and as they look at the scene, the whole room bursts into laughter. Next, his friend, Ko Hao, completes the summoning spell. However, he is embarrassed by his conjuration, because he ended up summoning a skirt from the girl's uniform. Most students summon lifeless objects, but the girl prodigy manages to summon a spirit beast, a type of skeletal dog, and for her great achievement she is admired by all her classmates. The teacher asks Wang Ling to do his summoning, so the boy tediously and without making use of seals or conjuration words, completes the exercise with a great explosion. And we observe that the dreaded demon frog has been summoned by him. The teacher gets desperate and fuses the skeletal dog with her power and hits the frog. After the containment spell, we saw that the demon king was fused with the skeletal dog, thus generating a kind of green dog with frog-like features. The students are delighted with the result of the fusion and now want that to be the new class mascot. In a brief flashback, we understand what Wang Ling's childhood was like, from his birth to his present moment. We learn that at his birth, he manages to be born alone from his mother's womb, without medical help. And even as a baby, he had already mastered his spiritual power to move and levitate objects around him. At the age of 6, he managed to overthrow the demon king that threatened the population of the entire city. He always demonstrated to be a calm child who had a lot of boredom in his life. Throughout his childhood, his parents conducted several experiments on the boy in order to contain the immeasurable energy he carried. Because of his great power, the boy could not make friends or be sociable, because his energy field was so great that he repelled anyone who approached him. For this reason, he was always alone. As a teenager, Wang Ling decided not to draw attention to himself in any way, until his father finished preparing a seal to diminish his powers. During one morning at the school, students compete for student electoral positions. Sun Rong, the prodigy girl, vies for the position of student representative with Chen Zhao, who was campaigning together with Ko Hao. During the break, she tries in a docile and gentle way to convince everyone there to vote for her, but the strategy doesn't work very well. So she buys all the snacks from the canteen and in exchange would give them to whoever votes for her. Still, she doesn't convince everyone, except Wang Ling, who in exchange for 5 dry macaroons, sells his vote to the girl Wonder. Without many words, he gives Sun Rong a power pill as a way to thank her for her snack. And already out of patience with the others, she conjures a manipulation spell with her words and generates an energy field, causing everyone around her to vote for her. Those who were affected by the magic have a seal on their heads with Sun Rong's name, because she was the conjurer of the power. In the classroom, the teacher teaches them that there is a secret technique that can manipulate anyone using spiritual energy. But for this power to take effect, the conjurer must give a gift to the person before using the technique. After completing the condition, the conjurer must say the word, conjuration, thus releasing an energy barrier that leaves a mark above the heads of all those affected. This technique is called pseudo-enchantment upon other, and causes all those who have received the seal to agree to the conjurer's will. Sun Rong panics when she hears the teacher's explanation, because she herself had used the technique on her classmates in exchange for votes, giving as a reward the cafeteria snacks. At that moment, Wang Ling remembers that he was not affected by this power because he had given something in exchange for the noodles, a power pill, to the girl. He soon starts gesturing to her, and the girl understands that that pill she received would increase and enhance her powers even more. She figured that this way she would break the spell, as the professor explains that the only way to cancel the magic would be through another great energy. The girl feels confident and eats the pill, however the boy is stunned by that situation. After all, the gestures he made meant that he liked the noodles and was saying thank you. In a short flashback, we are shown that that pill had been used by Wang Ling since he was a child to reduce and lessen his potential spiritual power. In the same instant, the marks that Sun Rong had placed on her classmates' heads are removed, bringing everyone back to their normal state. This happened because her energy became so low that she could not activate her spell. The professor soon invites the prodigy girl to test the technique, but she was in such a state that she didn't even have the strength to get up from her chair, due to the pill she had eaten. As she tries to walk to the front of the room, she slips on a can and falls, but Wang Ling immediately holds her up in the greatest hero pose. However, he drops her to the floor, not caring much about it. Then the teacher asks him to use the spell and the protagonist easily conjures the spiritual technique without any problems. The only one hit by the spell was Sun Rong, as he had given him the pill earlier as a form of thanks. And since her technique had no effect until the election period, the girl ended up losing to Chen, the other contestant for class representative. At the end of the day, the girl kept thinking about Wang Ling because his conjuration was still active. He forgot to undo the spell, and as a consequence, the prodigal girl began to catch feelings for him. The next morning, the students head to school for a pill refining class. Sun Rong arrives at the school in style on her red carpet, and is soon greeted by Representative Chen. but she ignores him completely by going towards Wang Ling. As she calls out to him, the boy understands the situation and immediately sees his mark of the spiritual technique above the girl. He slowly approaches her and undoes the technique. When the girl realizes what has happened, she had no reaction because her thoughts were confused about the boy. In the lesson on how to make a pill, the teacher explains in a very quick way how the whole process is done, and then the students try to make it with their own hands. They all put in the effort to do what was asked of them. Some have shown prowess when it comes to preparing the mixture, as is the case with Sunrong, who, using an amazing industrial oven, manages to use all the ingredients in just the right way. And others not so much, as was the case with Chen, who had his legendary oven, which had been used by his family for years, blown up due to the high temperature and the boy's lack of caution. And of course Ling couldn't help but show his disregard by using a small household microwave for the activity. The class ends and the teacher says that the refinement time is approximately 7 hours. The bell rings to signal the end of the class and the students go out and leave their mixtures in the ovens. While there is no one in the classroom, the class mascot tries to eat some spirit animals so that he could evolve again and become a powerful demon. But he is soon stopped by Wang Ling after a frenetic chase through the school. On his way out of the bathroom, the protagonist spots Ko Hao, one of his classmates, who immediately questions him as to why he had his oven in hand. The boy explains that the green dog tried to eat his spirit creature and that he saved it before the worst happened, so he decided to wash his classmate's oven. At the same moment, we observe Chen, the class representative, walking furiously toward them shrouded in a dark aura. For he has been contaminated by the mind demon, due to his failure in the previous class that blew up his oven. He is desperate about the criticism he will receive from his father and also that Sun Rong doesn't care at all about him, making him think that she was into the protagonist. Ko Hao tries to hit Ling with his poison water because he didn't believe his story about what happened. But the boy deflects easily, causing the shot to hit Chen full on, who is contaminated by the poison, causing much of his body to be wrapped in a bizarre purple stain. Ling tries to heal the boy by conjuring a repair magic in his hands, but his colleague immediately stops him saying that he wouldn't let him do that. After all, no one must know what happened. And that if he helped him to create an antidote, he would forget all about his oven. So they both start to search for the ingredients in the quest to manufacture the remedy. As they put everything to refine, Ko Hao realizes that it will take too long to finish the process that would last about 4 hours. And that the students would return in the meantime. While they were thinking of a solution, the green dog approaches the oven, which is also a spirit creature, intending to devour it. But it is soon stopped by Ko Hao who, realizing its presence, conjures a spell of fire in his hands and then hits it, knocking the mascot out. And with their attack, they realize that that beast has a flame ability that accelerated the pill refining process. They make use of this firepower several times and on top of that they use the green dog as a guinea pig, in the best Pokemon inventory style, to test the antidote before giving it to their friend. The boys manage to give Chen the pill, but the students are returning to class and the medicine would take a while to take effect. Ko Hao tries to delay the teacher, but fails miserably and she chooses him to be the first to show the result of his project. When the teacher opens his oven she sees that his pill has been successfully refined, and the boy soon thinks that Ling has changed the pill and is immensely grateful for his friend's attitude. When the teacher goes to evaluate the protagonist project, she sees that it was a failure because it was destroyed in the process. However, then we learn that Ling never switched projects, because Ko Hao's pill was refined along with the antidote, and the green dog's spiritual power made it well refined. In the late afternoon, Chen wakes up on the school lawn next to the two boys. He sees that everything was fine and even his oven was repaired by his friends. He is immensely grateful and asks Ling's forgiveness for all he has caused. Even if unintentionally, Wang Ling always saved the day. And now, what will be his next challenges? So, what did you think of this anime? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like it and subscribe for more anime recaps. See you next time.